Star Fox is one of the most acclaimed video games in the history of games in general. And it's also one of the greatest games to grace a home console, that home console being made by Nintendo. Star Fox, when it came out in 1993, was the very first game to utilize the Super FX chip that was a huge part of the Super Nintendo. You see, the Super FX chip was really the ace in the hole for Nintendo. During a time where games were predominantly 2D side-scrollers and basically 2D games in general, Nintendo added this new ability to render out or to simulate 3D environments using this Super FX chip. Something that really was the downfall of Sega in general, since they were not able to produce the same thing and had to make several attachments in order to even be able to compare with the Super Nintendo and its Super FX chip. The Super FX chip by itself was a huge improvement and was a huge step forward in video games. And no other game was as amazing with the Super FX chip than Star Fox, which became a huge hit series that a ton of people became huge and loyal with. When Star Fox first came out in 1993, it was the first time that anybody had seen any kind of use of the Super FX chip, which was in the Super Nintendo to begin with. But Star Fox was the first game to utilize and make an amazing 3D world that people had never seen before. Now, while some games like Super Mario 64 did revolutionize the way that you saw 3D gaming, it was the Super FX chip that really was what took it to the first element of 3D gaming. After Star Fox was completed and after the game came out to critical acclaim and everybody loved it, everyone was expecting a sequel. And a lot of people don't know that there is in fact Star Fox 2 for the Super Nintendo, but it was never released due to the fact that at the time Nintendo was trying to promote the Nintendo 64, and so they decided completely against releasing Star Fox 2, which was completed in Japan but was never released. Now, you can find different ROM versions of this game that have been translated into English, so if you guys have never seen that, I would recommend that you guys go check it out. I will probably make another video on that itself in the future, but as for now, we're going to keep moving forward. Fast forward and you find Star Fox 64, which was the next iteration, the next version for Star Fox, and people were completely blown away. Star Fox 64 was an amazing game. The 3D visuals were amazing, the controls were as precise and amazing as ever before, and just a ton of people had so much fun in the fact that this new powerful engine, this new next generation console, was able to generate so many effects, and on top of that, it didn't feel as linear as the way that it did when you played it on the Super Nintendo. It felt like it was more open world and you were able to decide where you wanted to go, and it didn't feel like it was as much of an on-rail shooter as previous games had been before. After the success of Star Fox 64, people were naturally excited and eager to find out what the next entry in the Star Fox series was going to be. Despite Star Fox 64's success, a lot of people were surprised that it took 5 long years for a new Star Fox game to be released. And when people started hearing about Star Fox Adventures, they were thrilled, they were surprised, they were excited, they couldn't wait to get back into their R-Wing and start blasting other enemies and try to get Andross and do the whole thing over again, and they were excited for the fact that the new game was going to have intense new visuals with the release of a new generation console. So everyone popped in their game, put it in the GameCube, turned it on, went to the main menu, were excited, and what the hell is this? This isn't Star Fox. Where the hell is Star Fox? We're on some kind of weird planet called Dinosaur Planet. You're not even in a plane, you're just going around helping dinosaurs with some kind of weird psychic annoying buddy called Tricky, and people were just angry and baffled, and they didn't know what the hell was going on. You see, Star Fox Adventures wasn't a game like any other Star Fox. It wasn't one where you were piloting a ship and you were going around blasting enemies. It was actually more of a 3D world adventure, kind of like The Legend of Zelda. So while some people who maybe were never accustomed to or maybe never played a Star Fox game before, those people were super excited and having a great time playing the game, while the people who had come to know Star Fox already from the Super Nintendo and N64 era were really taken aback and were really appalled and disgusted at the fact that Star Fox was just changed completely into some kind of hybrid weird game that they had never seen before. I think the worst part of the whole thing was that they really tossed salt on the wound, because there were some parts in the game where you were able to hop into your R-Wing and get from one planet to the other, and it was amazing. People were blown away when they saw that, but then, there you go, back to landing and back to doing more tedious adventure stuff. So what exactly did happen? Well, you see, Star Fox Adventures originally was going to be a game called Dinosaur Planet, and it was originally going to be coming out for the Nintendo 64. They had screenshots, it had images, it had promotional things going on, and the main character for Dinosaur Planet was also a fox. So you see, what ended up happening was Shigeru Miyamoto looked at the game, he was like, hey, I see you guys got a fox over here. I got a fox, we got Star Fox. How about we put him in the game? Boom, people are gonna love it, people are gonna want to play the game. So development of Dinosaur Planet was shifted into Star Fox Adventures and was later moved over to the Nintendo GameCube, and a ton of people were pissed off and angry and didn't want to play it. Now, to the credit of Nintendo, Star Fox Adventures was a beautiful game. If you take it away of the aspect of the way that previous Star Fox games had been before, Star Fox Adventures really was an amazing game. Star Fox Adventures used an engine similar to the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, so it did have really amazing graphics and it had that really good tight control scheme of the Legend of Zelda, and in fact it had a lot of things that really resembled the Legend of Zelda, from the way that you picked up items to, hey, here's a new item, even down to the fact that the game had a day and night type of thing where it was a day, and it was kind of like a really good transition. It wasn't one of those games where you're walking around and you're like, oh hey, it's daylight, and then 2 seconds later, oh boom, it's nighttime, what the hell happened? So Star Fox Adventures did have a lot of elements that resembled The Legend of Zelda, which was something good, because The Legend of Zelda is a great game, but it was something that a lot of people just did not want to do because they had grown up and seen Star Fox from the Super Nintendo to the Nintendo 64 and really just wanted a direct sequel to the way that the R-Wing and the piloting and everything was. I honestly feel that a lot of people don't give Star Fox Adventures the credit that it deserves, being that it's a really amazing game if you take it away from that space shooter aspect. It's a really amazing adventure game, and it's one of my favorite games of all time, really. And, you know, I might do a review of it in the future, but as for right now, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of Gaming Evolved. If you did, remember to slap a like on this video, any favorite as well. Let me know if you guys have any games that you guys want me to do a video on. It can be Gaming Evolved, something that was completely different and straight away from the way that video games were at the time, and you guys might see it in a future video, so definitely leave some feedback down below, and leave a like and a favorite to help out this series, and I'm out. Peace.